Hey, what's up everyone, David here and welcome back to another video. Today it's going to be all about our next big release from Atlus, being Persona 5 Royal, coming out on all platforms. I have a lot to say. This is my before you buy guide. Here's everything you need to know for Persona 5 Royal before it releases. I like to do these videos for upcoming Atlus releases on the channel. If you're interested, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell for more Atlus content. I upload weekly all about Atlus stuff. If you like the video, a quick thumbs up really helps. Otherwise, dislike also works. Let's get right into it. Just note before I start that I'm going to show you guys how to get the final true ending and also the third semester for Persona 5 Royal, which is the best ending that you can get for the added content in Royal. That includes some minor spoilers, kind of minor. That's going to be at the end of the video, so I'll warn you guys, that way you can leave before, but otherwise this is all spoilers free and I have a lot to say, so let's just jump right into it. Alright, so in terms of the game itself, the release date is October 21st, 2022. The game is set to release on PC via the Windows Store or Steam, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and Series platforms, PlayStation 5 as well, with the game already being on PlayStation 4, of course. Now, the game itself has its own original story, so you don't need any prior knowledge of the Persona series or Shin Megami Tensei in general to enjoy Persona 5 Royal. You don't even have to play the original Persona 5. This is pretty much the definitive version of Persona 5. All the other Persona games before, no need to play them here. Plus, I already made a video on this topic, make sure to check it out. I'll link it right here if you're interested. But I also think Persona 5 Royal is a fantastic entry point into the Persona series, into Atlus games in general, if you are a new fan. The story alone for Persona 5 Royal is about 100 hours. From my experience, you can put double that if you want into all the side content, to do all the social links, the mini games, all that stuff. Very cool game in general. You're going to be spending a lot of time, so there's a lot of good games coming out this winter season, so just take that into consideration when the game comes out on October 21st. Persona 5 Royal is of course one of the best rated games and best rated Japanese role-playing game of the last decade. It has a fantastic score on Metacritic, and honestly the game is awesome. It's at the top of the list for a lot of players out there. I highly recommend you check it out just for that reason alone. Plus, again, it's a good game for newcomers. There's a lot of difficulty options that you will find in Persona 5 Royal. I suggest trying out the normal difficulty, because even just that, if you're a newcomer, I think you will find kind of easy. So very, very welcoming game in terms of newcomers. Now, in terms of performance, obviously there's a lot of versions. What's the difference from this remastered version of Persona 5 Royal versus the PlayStation version? I'll just start with that. In terms of PS4, the game looks good. It has a great art style, simple game. It's a turn-based RPG, an upgraded version of a PS3 game after all, so nothing too special, but the visuals will blow you away. It's just a great game overall. In terms of the PlayStation 5 version and Xbox Series version, those ones feature minor, extremely minor visual upgrades. You can find comparison videos out there if you're interested. From PS4 to PS5, very, very minor visual upgrades. But what's interesting though is that you will get a sweet frames per second boost in terms of the Xbox Series platforms and PlayStation 5. Instead of running at a stable 30 frames per second like on PlayStation 4, the PS5 and Xbox Series versions will run at a 60 frames per second. In terms of Nintendo Switch, the game seems to be running at a stable 30 frames per second. Some of y'all might be worried. I am not, to be perfectly honest. I cannot talk about my personal experience with the game or anything, but from what I've seen online, the game seems to be very, very stable. You gotta remember that it's running off the same engine as another Nintendo Switch game, which is Catherine Full Body, and that game runs crazy well on Switch. It's really, really great. Loading times are great as well. I expect Persona 5 Royal to be similar. It's 30 frames per second, not 60. Weaker hardware, of course. And it's all on the cartridge if you buy the physical version, which is really interesting. Otherwise, 12.5 gigabyte download for the full game, which is, fun fact, 3 times smaller than the PS4 version, which is really cool to see, honestly. Now, if you're a physical collector like myself, you'll be glad, because if you pre-order the game right now, you will get a sweet steelbook with the launch edition of the game that you can normally find on shelves for a couple of months after the release, so don't rush things out if you're not able to afford it. Now, you'll notice that I avoided PC, and there's a simple reason for that. I'm a dumbass in terms of anything PC. I don't know shit about PC, so here are the requirements. Here are the recommended specs that you need on your PC to play P5R. You also have the best specs that you can get, or at least the recommended specs that you should have to enjoy Persona 5 Royal in a good way. I'm sure you can get the best visuals on PC, probably the best frame per second on PC as well, so you enjoy it there. I've heard that the game is really great on Steam Deck as well if you're interested. I'm not gonna say more because again, I'm not gonna act like I know anything about PC gaming. Let's move on. The game, whether you buy it physically or digitally, comes with all the DLC. If you get it physically, it's all in the all on the cartridge, so it's really interesting there on Switch. No additional download, just get the game, boom, you have all 40 DLC packs included, which is a lot of value. Now keep in mind that most of these are just cosmetics, costumes, things of that nature. Those are cool, don't get me wrong, those are cool, but it's nothing that you would miss otherwise. So if you just want to get the PS4 version, it's fine. You really won't miss anything in terms of the DLC. There's some cool stuff, some challenge battles and stuff, so it's really cool. You get all of that. The caveat is it's a re-release. It's full priced $60 on all platforms. You heard me correctly. So PlayStation 5 also $60. So if you own a PlayStation 4 version of the game, being for Persona 5 Royal, you have no upgrade path. You have to get the $60 full priced version for PS5 to get the upgrades there. No possible way to transfer your save data either. So kind of a bummer if you're a PlayStation gamer, but otherwise I still think the game is worth it in my mind, just because of the length and all the major DLC that you get. All the content included is more than worth it, but again, that's just subjective. That's my opinion. Xbox Game Pass users will benefit from day one. So on day one, for no additional cost, if you're a Game Pass subscribers on consoles only, you will be able to play Persona 5 Royal. Really, really cool there. If you're just a little bit interested, why not check it out? Now, let's get into how to get the true ending of Persona 5 Royal. Again, spoiler warning for that one. It's important to know what you have to do specifically. I'm not gonna describe anything. I'm not gonna explicitly say stuff. I'm just gonna say, hey, boom, here's what you need to know. Here's what you need to do before that time to get the true ending, and also to unlock the third semester, which is like a 10-15 hour of additional content in the Royal version of the game that wasn't in vanilla Persona 5. So here is your requirements. Please leave the video if you're scared of spoilers. I'm not gonna directly spoil anything, but still, if you can read between the lines, you're gonna have clues per se. Please keep the comment sections below spoilers free as well. So to get the true ending, the third semester, you need to reach rank number 9 of the Counselor Arcana before November 18th in the game. That would be for new character Dr. Maruki. Very important to get rank number 9 for his social link before November 18th, because you won't be able to meet with him in school after that date. He's on the lower floor of the school, very easy to find. You shouldn't have any problem. You also have to reach rank number 5 with Kasumi Yoshizawa, another new character, almost a new protagonist for P5R. That's what we thought Kasumi was at first. Great character. You need to reach rank number 5 before December 18th in game. She is the Faith Arcana. Otherwise, you have the Justice Arcana, which is Goro Akechi. You have to get to rank number 8 before November 24th. Very, very cool social link. Highly recommend you check him out, even if you're not interested necessarily in getting the true ending. And finally, there is a clear main antagonist during the third semester. You need to refuse all their offers. I'll just leave it at that. There's a clear main antagonist. You will know exactly who I'm talking about if you are playing the game and you reach that point. Just make sure you refuse all the offers from the antagonist. Don't worry, they're all like very obvious. So you should be fine. This is my before you buy guide. Here's everything that you need to know when you decide or decide not to buy Persona 5 Royal. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, a quick thumbs up is always a big help. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and staying with me until the end. You're the real MVP if you did. Have a great day, y'all. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.